What's going on, guys? Matt Weik here with Jimmy Mentis. Got another episode of Fit Business for you. What's going on, Jimmy?
Hello, hello.
So today, it's funny. We hopped on Skype and you started doing an IG story. You're like, "So what are you going to talk about today?" I'm like, I don't know. What do you want to talk about? That's just how we do it here at Fit Business. We don't like to script things. We don't like to jump into things and have a whole bunch of research and have it look like everything was all planned out. It's literally right off the top of our head.
Literally.
So, literally. So today, what we want to talk about is, Jimmy and I were going back and forth, and I'm like, hey, man, we talked about retirement in the past, and, both of us, I think, are on the same page with this. So I think there's way too many people out there who look at business owners and entrepreneurs, and they think about just the money. Like, they're waiting for that big exit where someone's going to come, give them millions of dollars to go away, and they end up on an island or buying an island, and you never see them ever again. I think we're on the same page with this, but what's your take on that, Jimmy? Like, do you see yourself retiring anytime soon, or even if you get bought out, if you were ever to consider that, would you just disappear?
Well, boy, how much time we got for this show?
How about 30 minutes?
Okay. Wow. You're even cutting me off today, huh? All right. So here's this subject is very, very dear to me because I was offered a buyout and I cried for 2 weeks. I didn't know what I was going to do after the fact. Okay, so let's go past that. Being an entrepreneur is in your blood. I believe an entrepreneur is always on the hustle, is always on the move, is always doing things, it's always breaking rules, always pushing barriers. It's not about the exit strategy and let me sit and go to Greece and sit under the Acropolis with a cup of coffee, right? So I believe that a true entrepreneur, they're just wired. It's in your blood. It's in your blood to create, to do things. So when I hear someone say they're an entrepreneur, I love it. But everybody now is an entrepreneur. And I understand it and I respect it. Here's my question. Do you really own a business, or do you have a job that's called your business?
That's true. I mean, look, being an entrepreneur, it's not, about the money.
No.
It's like you said in the beginning, it's a mindset. Like, you love creating something from the ground up. It's that I have an idea. How can I make it come true? Or how can I take that idea and help other people, or, help other people make more money? I feel like so many people out there have this negative connotation about entrepreneurs that they're greedy. They only care about themselves. It's all about the money. And that's, sure, there are cases of that out there, but that's not the majority of who we are. But I feel like so many people, like you just said, it becomes a job because all they're doing is they're chasing that final thing. Which, when you work the 9 to 5, everyone thinks about, hey, at 65, I'm going to retire, or I gotta, fund my 401k or my IRA or whatever so that I can retire. Like, I can only speak for myself, but you pretty much touched on this, earlier, and that is, I just can't see myself retiring. I might say I'm retired, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna sit with my feet up. I mean, there's always something that I'm trying to do, trying to build. Like, for me personally, I know, with Beauty Fit, it's, line extensions or flavor extensions. You're constantly looking to improve upon what you have. For me, being the service-based type of business, what can I add to my business that would help other people that's still within my wheelhouse and the realm of things that I can help people with? So for me, it's like a constant growth. What can I do better? How can I improve my own skills? And I don't want to downplay the 9 to 5, employee, but it's kind of, they go into work, they punch in, they do what they have to do, they punch out, they go home. There's not that drive.
But hold on a second.
Go ahead.
I disagree with you, because let's just say that 9 to 5 person retires.
Mm-hmm.
How many people have retired like, hey, I need to find something to do?
Oh, absolutely. Or they retire and they find out they don't have enough money to stay retired.
Right. But also here's where I see many entrepreneurs finding out that being an entrepreneur is difficult financially. Okay. Being an entrepreneur isn't difficult financially. Being an entrepreneur is about creating what others want, right? Creating a solution, creating something that you're giving something to others that they need, they want to share with you, or you want to share with them. Now, there's a dollar value to that. Where greed comes into play, and I don't want to call it greed, but when an entrepreneur gets in over his head, it's because their personal expenses are way exceeding what that small business is doing. So it becomes a job now that they have to service, produce, sell. And it becomes a grind. When bills are met and expenses are met, being an entrepreneur is a constant hustle. And I don't mean hustle to pay bills. That's a job. To me, that's a job. And that's where the difference is. Do you own a business, or do you have a business that's your job? And once you identify that, you can free yourself. At some point, I'll be very honest with you, at some point with Beauty Fit, it became my job, because I got in over my head. I expanded so fast with international accounts that, being that cowboy that I am, I kept going, and my expenses kept going up, and my personal expenses as well. I bought the house, I bought a few cars, and expanded on the brand. So now I got money flying out, and the money coming in wasn't as fast, right? Because on terms, and that's where we all get caught. And I want to speak on that retirement, but again, this isn't about retiring. This is about creating and providing something to others. I believe it. I don't want to get to the spiritual thing, because I'm religious, but I'm not that spiritual. I believe in the mind, body, and soul, but it's a spiritual experience. When I have a product here, when I create a product, right, and people come and tell me, oh my God, I love your product. It has done wonders for me. It doesn't even have a dollar value anymore.
Yeah.
And if you have that as an entrepreneur, you can't retire from it. It's just in you. Are you telling me that if you hit the lottery, well, that's different, because I know you. If you hit the lottery and there were 5 good account of yours, and they said, Matt, we really need you to stay with us, would you stop?
No.
Why?
I couldn't do that. I mean, for me, I love what I do.
Right.
I'm a creator. I love writing. It's what I've done since I was little. So I've always had that passion for it. So for me, it's like, I don't consider it work. Like, some people are like, Matt, why do you work so long? Like, you make enough money. You shouldn't have to be putting in, 16, 18-hour days. Why are you working on the weekends? Why don't you take vacations? Like, for me, I like sitting in my chair at my desk and doing work. I love talking with clients and brainstorming new ideas, new things to write about, new content. Or like when you come to me and say, hey, Matt, I have a new idea. I'm going to be bringing this product to market. I need you to write the copy for it. Like for me, that's fun.
Right.
Because your passion and your, your product that you created, now I get to do my part to help you sell it. You know it's going to do well. You did your homework. You put the ingredients together. You know the formulation's solid. So now we just got to make sure that everybody understands what's in it. So it's that back and forth communication, and you can call it like a partnership that you have with clients where you're working hand in hand with each other for a common cause. Like for me, technically, I shouldn't care how many units you sell of a product. I don't make any financial gain from that whatsoever.
Right.
But for me, having you come to me and say, Matt, I produced 1,200 units. We sold out in less than 24 hours. I look at that as, okay, your product is awesome. And hopefully my copy had, a little bit to do with it.
And that's when you increase your prices on the next copy, right? But no, I
put in a royalty clause,
right? But you see what I'm saying? It's not you a true entrepreneur is in your blood.
Right.
You just can't stop. I saw it with my dad. My dad's 86 years old now, right? And we walk into a restaurant, a Greek 86-year-old guy that's been in the restaurant business all his life, right? Which my brother has this thing too now, right? We walk into a restaurant, he's just ripping it apart, And I bet you if the owner came up to him and he goes, "Hello, Mr. Mentis, how was your dinner?" My dad would say, "Yeah, it was good, but you could do this, you could do this, you could do this." If that owner turned around to my dad or my brother and say, "Hey, why don't you come in and help me?" They would in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Because that's the way they are. It's a true entrepreneur is all about creating. So I don't know if it's a money thing. I don't know. And I'd love to hear the comments on this, because when it becomes a money thing, you lose focus. You lose focus on providing,
Yeah. What's that saying? If all you're doing is chasing money, you're going to spend the rest of your life running, or something like that.
I never heard of that.
It's basically saying, like, if all you're doing is chasing
Right.
a dollar, you're just going to keep running your entire life because you're chasing that. It's not like you're content and you're working on something. All you're focused on is that dollar. So
Right.
as soon as you run to that dollar, you're going to run to the next dollar and run to the next dollar, and because that's what you're chasing. You're just chasing money.
Right.
But I mean, your brother is a great example of what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'll be honest. For me, I couldn't do that, and it's not the making food part, because I mean, for me, cooking is opening up a can of like Chef Boyardee and dumping it in and throwing it in the microwave. Or a bowl of cereal. That's my extent of cooking. I'm lucky I can get water out of the fridge. But I mean, he's in the food truck. It's hot as hell in there because they're making stuff.
Yeah.
For me, I'm going, it's hot outside.
Yeah.
It's even hotter in the food truck. Why would anybody want to be doing this? It makes no sense to me.
And when
but
he
for
was
him, it's a passion. He loves it.
It's a passion. I see it's a passion. I mean, I lived it with him. He was with me here at Beauty Fit.
Right.
For 3 years. And the last year he was miserable. Like you could tell his heart was missing something. He was just missing, right? And when I saw him in the heat, when he had that little table, right, with a little barbecue, little grill, right, under a tent, not now, I'm talking about a tent in the summertime here in Florida, and he was in the heat, sweating his ass off, people trying his food, because then nobody knew him, right?
Yeah.
He had this life in him. He had this life in him. And now he has a truck. He does 2 events a day now, right? He goes in the morning somewhere, and he's driving all the way across Florida because they want him. They're calling him up, and he's going. And you got to see him. He's so excited. That's what
Kid in candy store.
Yeah, he's so excited, and he's making a ton of money. But here's the thing: see, he's focused on delivering an excellent product.
Right.
That's it. And he's always focused that. My father was always, when we were little kids, at the restaurant, I used to go to the register all the time, you know, and I was like, okay, how much money do we make? And my dad's like, listen, let's make sure the food goes out of the kitchen correct. The money at the end of the night will be in the register. I'll never forget that, you know, and that's how it is. You make sure that whatever your service or your product or whatever that is, it is spot on. And there's always room for improvement. You got to stay with the times, right? You got to evolve. And at the end of the day, the money's in the register. Now, where that money goes after the register, that's a personal issue. Now, if someone overextends themselves in personal items and mortgages and toys and stuff like that, then then the company suffers. Then you're not in the right frame of mind to deliver a good product. So I think that's where the entrepreneurs in today's world have a difficult time, because they're trying to keep up with the world, or their friends, and some of their friends own the BMWs and the Rolexes and stuff like that. And it's like what Gary Vee says. Gary Vee. Gary's always like, listen, you want to make money, you gotta dress like shit, eat like shit. I mean, don't spend any money until you find that opportunity and you triple down. He's not saying don't spend it. He's saying save it until you find that opportunity. I mean, Gary declined the Uber stock.
Yeah.
It's worth $400 million now. He's kicking himself in the ass, but he's learned from that. But again, it's how it is. Once you start a business, it's about creating the product and going out, talking to people, touching people. See me, I'm still at it. People are like, I answer the phones. The other day, I got to tell you a quick story, and this is great for everybody to listen, to hear me out. We had a customer that just kept riding our customer service, phone call after phone call after phone call. And I was like, what is going on? So it was like, hey, what did I tell you the story before?
Yeah, last episode.
Yeah. That girl has ordered 4 times already. I was just in the warehouse and all the orders are going out, and she had this big ass 12Q box. She bought 4 proteins. And I'm like, look, here's a girl, that was constantly complaining about our product or a service or whatever, and now she's become one of the best customers.
Right.
So that's where it is. And again, I don't think I can never let this go. That's the issue.
It's different because, I mean, going back to the whole job thing, the mindset of working for someone is, I just have responsibilities that I have to do, and I'm not going to go above what I need to do because I don't get paid for it. Whereas when you look at something like, let's use your brother again, for example. I hope he listens to this because,
well,
we talk about
sure
it
he does. I'm sure he does. But if he doesn't on this one, I'm going to actually send him the link and say, listen to it all. Because the next episode, we're going to talk how bad your food is.
But using him as the example, I mean, he wants the feedback from people so that, he knows what they want, because ultimately that's what we do. We want to provide a service and give people what they want, what they expect, their money's worth. So for him, it's constantly, how can I make this better? Or how can I add to what I already have to make a better customer experience? So for him, it's a constant building process. How can I redo this? How do I improve my efficiencies? Maybe he's losing money on something that's in the truck. Okay, so how do I improve that to help me or to provide a better service, better food? So I think the mindset is just different, where I don't want to say that people who work a 9 to 5 are complacent, because I know when I worked a 9 to 5, I was basically an entrepreneur. I was running my job, my responsibilities, as if it were my own business.
Well, that's how it's supposed to be.
So I think that's, a lot of people should have that type of mindset versus I'm going to punch in, I'm going to wait until the clock hits 5 or whenever you punch out, I'm going to hit my time card and I'm out for the day. And I don't really care if emails come in of customer complaints. It's not my business. What should I care at the end of the day? I think it's that type of mentality that's a different mindset from a business owner or entrepreneur, because for us, this doesn't stop.
Right.
It could be 11, 12, 1 a.m. in the morning. I mean, I'm not saying that I sit up and I don't sleep and I just sit and look at my phone and wait for an email to come in.
Yeah, you do. You text me.
That's true. I do. Hey, are you awake? And then 8 o'clock the next morning, what do you want? But I mean, it doesn't stop, because you're constantly, you want to better your business, better yourself, better your clients, your customers, have them enjoy the experience and the process. So
yeah, your mind's always running. Your mind's always running. Your mind's always creating. That's an entrepreneur for me. And you know what? Establishing a business around what you love to do, I think is a blessing. And people still need to do that. Don't be scared. I failed so many times, man. People think I've just written this gravy train. I failed miserably. So, I just happened to not listen to anybody with Beauty Fit. I didn't listen to anybody's opinions. I did what I learned what not to do. And that's my suggestion for everybody out there. Don't be scared to fail, because if you don't do it, you already failed. Don't be scared.
Absolutely. I mean, the last thing that I think I can say is, if you love what you do, as soon as you retire, you're going to continue to think about what you were doing. I mean, if you're an entrepreneur and you go on vacation and all you can think about is work, you're in the right spot, because you love what you do. It's a passion. If you go on vacation and you never think about work ever, that's probably a telltale sign that you probably got the wrong job, or you started the wrong business.
Right. I agree. I agree on that.
Because retirement is, I'm sure it's great. I've seen my father-in-law and my mother-in-law retire, and they go and they cruise all the time. But for me, it's like, if I were to do that, I just see myself writing while I'm on a cruise. So if that's the case, then why not just stay in business and continue to help people? But I mean, that's really all I got to say. I mean, retirement is a very personal subject. Some people, they want to work hard their entire life, and then they want to just do one of these and walk away. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I know I can't do that. So with that being said,
I want people to comment and give us their, how many people would retire? Let's say you sold your business. Let's say you cashed out on something. How many would retire? I want to hear. I would love people to comment on this.
Yeah, that's a great idea, because I mean, I think a lot of people will have different opinions. Some people are like, "Get me the hell out of here! If I win the lottery, you're never going to see me ever again." And that's their right to do what they want. But yeah, definitely leave a comment, whether it's in this video or on the platform that you're listening, if it's a podcast, or on YouTube, or on our Facebook page for Fit Business. We'd love to hear your feedback. But with that being said, I know I'm not retiring. Jimmy, are you going to retire anytime soon?
I was just going to say that I hope someone puts a comment that really touches me, so I can understand why I should retire.
If anybody puts in the comments that they want to buy me out, let's talk. Everyone's got their price. No, I'm kidding. There's no way I would be able to step away.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, maybe I'm seeing this wrong. Just if someone puts a comment down there and tells me, "Hey, why don't you think about this?" And maybe you convince me to retire. But I don't see myself. I see myself with a phone and a laptop next to me the rest of my life.
Jimmy's gonna be 98 and buying the next MacBook. He's gonna be waiting at the Apple store with the walker and everything.
That's it. With the sling back.
And a pair of Jordans. You'll be 98 rocking J's.
That's funny.
All right, guys. With that being said, let us know in the comments. Yeah. What do you think? Will you ever retire, or are you going to stick it out and grind it out till you die? Who knows? Let us know in the comments. Jimmy, always a blast, brother.
Love you, man.
See ya.
Bye.